Hello, welcome to my channel. Happy Friday. I am the work wife. My name is Rachel, and this video is going to be super quick because the weather around here went from 40 degrees and now it's climbing to 70, so this hat and this jacket can't stay. So I'm going to keep this quick. So today's topic is going to be about red flags. How do you even know your environment is toxic to begin with? I've been talking all this time about how I've worked in all these toxic environments, but I really haven't laid out for you what I believe to be the red flags. So that's going to be, actually I'm going to do a series on this, and I'm going to cover each example in depth, I think. But yeah. But before I jump in, I am a workplace coach. I have nearly 20 years experience in the corporate world and in the public sector as well, and the common denominator has been toxicity. And I have successfully navigated my way out and around and through some of the most challenging situations, and I'd love to help you with yours. If you're dealing with a challenging situation day in, day out, feel free to email me at theworkwifellc@gmail.com or send me a message on Instagram. I am the workwife, and I have a link to my Instagram below. So let's jump into this, and let's just start with one. I have a number of red flags in mind that I've kind of touched on in previous videos, but today is going to be about communication, which is kind of my thing. You know, like, I don't know. So communication is my thing. I don't know. I'm a Gemini. So the reason that I consider poor communication to be a red flag for a toxic work environment is as follows. And everybody experiences poor communication. So I'm sure you're saying, okay, doesn't necessarily toxic if you have poor communication. But if it's consistent from all levels, where you are discouraged from communicating and sharing your ideas, that's what makes it toxic. Especially if you feel that it's almost taboo to share your ideas and your opinions. Now, everybody knows you can't be brutally honest with your manager most of the time, but at the very least, in the course of doing your job and having one-on-ones with your manager, reviews on occasion, they want to know what's going on. They want to know your ideas. They want to know your feedback. They want to know what's happening. And you tell them what's happening, and they go, oh, no, I'm not hearing this. They don't want to know about it, they don't want to talk about it, and they certainly don't want you to talk about it. And you're like, but wait, this is my experience, or this is where I'm having issues, and you're going to your manager for guidance. You're going to your manager for steering, like, what do I do? Prioritization. What should I do first if your workload is up to here? And they're just like, I don't know, figure it out. So it's a combination of a lack of communication and lack of support, lack of encouragement, which erodes your confidence, which erodes your productivity, which erodes your morale. And this is pervasive through the entire department, sometimes amongst all departments, depending on the organization. Another example of lack of communication is when you have an extremely large organization that's so siloed that not only do you not get intra-department cooperation, you don't even get inter-department cooperation. You don't even feel free to talk to your neighbor about anything because they might be in Bob's department and you're in Bill's department, and Bill and Bob hate each other. And they've given the subtle, or maybe not so subtle command, I hate Bob and I hate Bill, and we don't talk to their people. Even though the executive vision and mission is being we collaborate and, we work together and it's all a common goal. And we're like, okay, part of those common goals is to work together, departments, divisions, so-called. And there's nothing. You can't get anyone to answer your email. You can't get anyone to call you back. And meanwhile, you go to your boss and say, look, you wanted me to do X, Y, Z, and I need to work with this person to get this information because they have the information that I need in order for me to do my job. What can I do? And your boss is like, I don't know. So this is an example of you're experiencing this day in and day out and not getting any cooperation and no communication. You've got a problem. Because your performance review is going to come around. I don't know, it's usually annual. And you're going to, review your goals that you've been given, which the manager has been given by his or her manager, and so on and so forth. And unfortunately, that lack of communication, which is usually a part of that culture, has trickled down from on high. Because it's no accident that your manager is behaving the way he or she is because they've been treated the same way by their manager. So it's usually very rare to experience this level of toxicity at, the middle management level, and it's not something that they're dealing with at the top, unless you've just got a bad apple. But it's rare. It's usually something that they're feeling the pressure, or they're feeling the lack of cooperation. They're trying to meet their goals and they can't, and they feel their hands are tied, and thus when you ask them for help, they literally cannot help you. It does help if you have a manager who kind of gives you that hint and says, I wish I could help you, but Bob and Bill hate each other, and there's been nothing I can do to break through that. So what I can suggest for you is to do this, and maybe that's the workaround. That's the only workaround we have right now. So just do your best. I understand. That little off-the-record message goes a long way. I've been there. When you have that kind of manager who understands the shitstorm that you're in and tries to support you because he or she wants the best for you, and they know that it's a toxic environment and there's nothing anybody can do about it right then. So it's even worse if you're not even getting that. Usually you have your coworkers to rely on, to kind of lock arms together against the powers that be. But it's, let's say you have coworkers who are busy gossiping and being toxic themselves and excluding you because they just don't like the way your face looks, and you can't even get any guidance from them. You can't say, hey, I've been trying to get this information, and, do you have any ideas? No, sorry, can't help you. You know the type. When it feels like middle school again. I've been there too. So yeah, it's tough when that is literally the culture, and you may consider this to be your day-to-day life, and you've gotten so used to it you don't even know that it's toxic. You think, oh, all jobs are like this? The answer is no. So you have to do, especially, as I said, when appraisal time comes around, protect yourself any way you can, and set milestones for yourself, even though maybe you're not getting the support from a manager. Maybe you can find another manager who's not toxic, because there's always someone. Not everybody's toxic. They just keep quiet and they get out of there at the end of the day. They want anything to do with it. You can find another manager who has nothing to do with your department, and maybe you've done enough vetting behind the scenes to realize, okay, they have no connection to Bob and Bill, and they seem sane. So maybe I can tap them to be my mentor in this situation and ask them for advice, under a casual, just kind of build that trust so that you can ask them for advice. That's something that I've done, is try to get a mentor or a work bestie like me, someone outside your department, outside the sphere of influence, who's been there a while, who's a veteran of this, and, you can get solid advice, because that's something that I used to do. People came to me and weren't in my department. They were like, I don't know what to do. And I'd say, okay, well, I know this person, and maybe you could do this, this, and this, So if there's no formal mentorship program available, sometimes you have to find your own. Simply, it doesn't have to be a long-term thing. It could be literally short-term, like, I need this help desperately, and I've got goals coming up, and I have no idea what to do. Find somebody who's a sympathetic figure, kind of do a little bit of recon, make sure that they're, they would be in your corner, just to give you some solid advice, and just that at least tide you over into the next time. But in these cases where it's so toxic that you can't even talk to people, that's definitely the time to start reevaluating whether this is the place for you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. As I said, I'd be happy to help you if you're dealing with a situation like this where communication is, everybody says communication is key, but it's just not happening where you're working, or you've been given an unrealistic set of goals that you can't accomplish because you're not going to get the help that you need. I'd be happy to help you with your story. If you like this content, please give it a thumbs up, and I'd appreciate it if you subscribed. And as I said, if you need help like this, I've been through it all, and I continue to do videos around, certain red flags that I've just seen over and over, so that maybe you understand that you're in an environment that's maybe not in your best interest. So until next time, stay cool, stay centered, and happy weekend. Bye for now.